Everything's good. We're about to start. Oops. All right. It is 6:02, and we're here at the third floor of City Hall, and this is the Building and Standards Commission. So if you may, let me read this. The Building Standard Commission of the City of Laredo will convene in a special meeting to open to the public at 6 p.m. Monday, October 21st, 2019. Third floor conference room number 1 at City Hall, located at 1110 Houston Street, Laredo, Texas. The notice of the meeting is posted at a place convenient to the public pursuant to the requirements of Article 625217, Texas Revised Civil Statute, and noted the Texas Open Meetings Act. This meeting will be open to the public and, as required by law, in all items during which the subject matter is discussed, considered, or formally acted upon. Out of consideration to all members of the Building Standard Commission meeting, please turn off your cell phones and pagers, if we do have pagers anymore. Thank you for your consideration. Pursuant unto the Penal Code, trespass by holders of a license to carry a handgun, a person licensed under subsection H, Chapter 411, Government Code, concealed handgun law, or handgun license law, may not enter into this meeting. In session with a concealed or apparently openly carried gun, handgun. So anyway, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I guess we could start with roll call. So, Mr. Alan Jackson Jr.
Present.
Mr. Why does it say now? It's not the correct one. Mr. Albert Lowry.
Present.
Mr. Rolando Perez.
Present.
Mr. Chris Haynes.
Present.
Ms. Teresa Fonseca.
Here.
All right, so we do have a quorum, Mr. Chairman, and since this is an open meeting to the public, is there anybody here that wants to just speak openly to the committee? This is a time, so you'll basically have 3 minutes to speak to just in general, or if you want to speak at your actual, if you're here for a specific address or item, you can speak at that time. But this is the time for citizen comments, so if anybody would like to...
Si alguien prefiere español,
Yo.
ahorita es la oportunidad para hablar de su caso, tienes 3 minutos para hablar, okay. O si quieres esperar cuando venga tu caso, puedes hablar ahí. Pues cualquier opción.
So, ahorita es para que quieren hablar en general, para cualquier caso, o nomás hablar. El comité aquí por ley les damos 3 minutos de que puedan hablar. Si no, si quieren esperar a su caso, nomás para recordar que a los que no saben, no han venido o quieren saber cómo, básicamente cuando se abre el caso, le damos oportunidad a gente que pueda hablar en contra o a favor de lo que recomienda el departamento. que se encarga de este comité. Entonces les dan 3 minutos para que hablen y hagan su caso. Entonces después de eso se cierra los comentarios y el comité discute qué es lo que quieren hacer, y entonces el comité básicamente tiene 3 opciones. El comité le dan, pueden tumbar, pueden bordar o pueden, es una orden de tumbar, una orden de bordar, que viene siendo tapar todas las ventanas y puertas, o el tercer orden para reparar. Esos son los tres poderes que tiene el comité. Si lo quieren oír en inglés, también se lo puedo decir en inglés. The committee has basically 3 options. They have either the order to demolish, order to repair, or order to board up. And that goes in, the staff will provide a recommendation to the committee. So you're allowed 3 minutes to speak for or against staff's recommendation. So I just wanted to open it up to the public hearing, so everybody that wants to speak has the opportunity to speak right now. Yes.
May I? My name is
Your
Rod-
name for the record?
Okay, my name is Rod Shani. I'm an investor. I buy several properties from the sheriff's sale and also for the foreclosure. We've gone through judges and we fixed up and rehab a lot of properties. And the judges, they have everything have an allowance. They don't allow us to go and spend whatever we think is reasonable. As an investor, we try to buy and so we can make some profit out of it. But for example, Judge Lopez is an example. He gives you so much, what do you call it, to fix up a property. So now that becomes a conflict of interest, because some properties that we have bought from you, we get notices from you. In my situation, I got 2 notices. I sold it to people, but I couldn't fix it because when we go to Judge Lopez and say, Judge, we spent this kind of money on this property, they don't give us the whole allowance. They say, no. These are people who are barely able to pay their property taxes, so therefore we can only pay you so much. Rents are also basically controlled, and it's up to the judge to decide how much they have to pay that. So I wish to tell the member of the board, please have that in consideration. Unknown heirs in the state of Texas apparently have 4 years. Heirs of Texas, and also the people who are the defendant in these cases, they have up to 2 years to buy it. But the unknown heirs, like children or even minors or whatever, they have up to 4 years to get somebody like a legal counsel or somebody from them to come back and buy from them. So that's why we cannot just turn around and say, well, we're going to spend all this money. Some of these properties are not habitable, but when they sell it to us, they say, we sold it to you as is, where it is. We gone to the tax attorneys and told them, well, now it seems to be a conflict of interest because the state comes in and says, well, this house is not habitable. In my situation, that's what happened. It's a property that I bought in 2018, and nothing but the city saying, well, you need to fix this, you need to fix this. We're willing to fix it because we thank God the person who lost the property, she has cancer, and she says, no, you know what, I have no, no intention to redeem it back, but she has unknown heirs. We went to Judge Lopez and said, Judge Lopez, the city's putting a commitment on us that we need to either demolish the property or fix the property. The judge said, well, you need to explain to them, because we have no jurisdiction over them, but then it's a loss that you might have to take, because let's say you spend a big amount, and here comes the defendant or the unknown heirs want to buy it, we're only going to allow you a certain amount. 25% is what you're going to be allowed, or whatever you bought it, plus we also going to have everything a small amount. These are people that are indigenous, these are people that are poor, these are people who weren't able to pay their property taxes, so therefore that's the reason why we are only going to allow a certain amount. So we need to work that out, because if these people have up to 4 years rights, we can't just turn around and fix them and then take a lawsuit if that may be the case. That's one scenario that I had.
Okay, it's been 3 minutes. Thank you. And if I may address the commission on this issue, the rules for this nuisance, this ordinance, government doesn't, when they sell the property, typically is to recuperate any tax dollars, and by state law, they do not have to, the city doesn't, they're not at fault for selling it. basically. So the owner buys it knowing, or should be knowing, that it could be deemed substandard in these cases, right? So there is nothing that the city is required to be, it's buyer beware basically, right? So when they're telling them sell as is, that's really what it is. They take the responsibility of the conditions at the time of the sale where the property is. And so if anybody buys it, it's really on them to, they become the owner of those in case it's a nuisance. So just wanted to reiterate that. Anybody else wants to speak for, just to the commission? ¿Nadie más quería hablar en general?
Muy bien. Mi
Otra
casa
vez su nombre, por favor.
Lisset González. Mi nombre es Lisset González, soy hija de María Luisa Ochoa, que es la dueña de la casa. Es Lincoln 1819. Esta propiedad se compró el 4 de octubre. No se nos notificó que tenía orden. Fuimos a pedir el permiso para remodelar el 7.
Sí, sí.
El 7, y ahí se nos notificó que teníamos que venir. Pensamos ayudar a mi mamá a quitar todas las paredes de adentro, ya se limpió la propiedad. ¿Qué más?
Queremos también cambiar todos los cables de la luz. Queremos,
ya sacar el agua.
Ya fuimos a sacar el permiso del agua. Queremos cambiar todos los ductos de drenajes, poner ductos nuevos y pues que nos den permiso de acondicionarlo.
Antes de interrumpir, ahorita vamos a hablar uno por uno de los casos.
Sí.
Creo que el caso suyo viene siendo como el cuarto,
Sí.
el quinto. Si quiere ahorita comentamos, si quiere comentar cuando comience su caso.
Claro.
¿Sí?
Si ahorita es nomás de hablar en general al comité, así como, bueno. ¿Alguien más? Anybody else? Just in general. If we would, let's move on to item number 4, consideration and approval of the minutes for the prior.
I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries.
Okay. Under item 5, staff reports, I wanted to, first of all, go over all the, I guess you could say, powers of the commission as per, we have a new acting director, and I wanted to present him, but he's at City Hall for City Council meeting. So, being that this was a day we could get a quorum to try to replace the previous meeting, but hopefully he'll be here on the next meeting, which will be November 13th. But under his direction, wanted to start off and basically, we've talked to legal and he wanted to kind of go over some of the powers and basically, this is a this commission is basically 4 members, regular members, and up to 5 alternates. We only have Ms. Fonseca as an alternate member. So basically, but for a quorum, we need 4. So all 4 members would have to be present. If not, the alternate can step in. And then again, I'll reiterate, the powers are whether this commission has 3 basic powers, and staff would need to be doing all the legwork, paperwork, everything to provide a recommendation to the commission. And then it's, whatever desire that the committee or commission wants. The other thing I wanted to point out was that with Mr. Garcia, Arturo Garcia, by the way, that was Mr. Arturo Garcia from Community Development, used to be a Community Development, now he's with Building Department. He, on his direction, we've already obtained $100,000 for demolition from the city, and they look at it as a recurring, because there's liens put on the property, and so I know you guys know the process, but he just wanted me to mention that. And so with that in mind, now it's Mr. Edgar Orozco was the zoning supervisor that's in charge of all this. Basically, he will be taking over with Mr. Gerardo Pinzon and Mr. Rigoberto Rodriguez. Also, he's a inspector with zoning that will be doing, he will be the one that's actually gonna be doing the evaluation and all that on the properties. So with that in mind, I also wanted to touch up, we're still working on these 10 to get them into the purchasing side of it and getting a contractor to go out for the previously ruled addresses, which are listed on your agenda, number 1 through 10, basically. Now, this is strictly for residential. There are some properties that we're probably gonna have to go a different route for commercial, such as the 1920 Scott warehouse that burnt down, that kind of thing, so. I don't know, Jerry, do you wanna speak to the committee as far as staff is concerned?
No, we just can't proceed on.
Okay, we can proceed. So I guess I would need a motion to open up item number, well, let me first read item 6, public hearing and discussion with possible action regarding demolition of structures identified as substandard and dangerous building. So let me read item A, and we will need to open it as a public hearing. If anybody here is here, we could give them 3 minutes to speak for or against, and then we would need to close a public hearing, and then the committee would need to, or commission would need to, if they want to take any actions, they can do so at that time. So let me just read out the item to make sure it's on the record. Consideration of possible action on the property of Juarez Cecilia G., whose legal description is Lot 3, Block 251 Eastern Division, commonly known as 615 East Lane Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Section 1655-1, 1655-2, 1655-3A, 16.55-3B, 16.55-232HI, 16.55-232R, 16.55-232U. Staff recommends, we had recommended a demolish of the structure. I would like to, we still want to recommend, even though the owner obtained a permit on September 24th of 2019, they took out a permit to demolish, and just in case they don't demolish it, let me bring up the item, so you can see, I believe this one is just...
When was the permit taken out?
September 24th of this year, basically almost a month ago. So, yeah, I don't know what's in the info. Okay, so this is the structure. I don't know if you guys, if that's enough light for you guys to take notes. So it was tagged. Here's a, obviously,
Yeah.
it's obvious that this property is needing, they may salvage some of this wood, but basically there's not even a floor,
Is the owner here?
We haven't opened, I don't think anybody's here for that property. The owner, I believe, is out of town. From somebody came in from San Antonio representing this property and obtained a permit. And so, based on the tag, based on the mail, registered mail that they got, they came into the building department and said they would do it within a couple of months, and so. But staff would want in order to enforce this, they would want to still have a demolition order on hand, so they wouldn't have to come back to the committee. So that is the wishes, so that at this point, I guess we would need to do a motion to open up for a public hearing, and then I close the public hearing and introduce the item to see if you would like to make any recommendations on this.
I move we open for public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so anybody here to wish for, to speak for or to speak against staff's recommendation for 615 East Lane Street? ¿Alguien quiere hablar por la dirección de 615 Lane, calle? Ahorita es la oportunidad que pueden hablarle al comité, tienen 3 minutos. Si no, tengo que preguntar 3 veces por ley. So anybody wish to speak for or against this item?
I have a few questions. Is there, for example, in a situation like this, how can we get a list? Because I went to Mr. Pinzon and I wanted to list. He sent me downstairs, but they say, no, we don't have that list. So I don't go through this problem of buying property, then the demolition and all that stuff.
You have 3 minutes to speak for or against the item. And is that a question answer? It's you speak for or against to demolish this.
Oh, no questions, oh, sorry.
Anybody else wish to speak for or against? Okay, so let's,
Make a motion, right?
yes,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I guess we could, the commission can, listening to staff's recommendation, in the presentation that we've done by noticing, tagging it, giving them ample time to the owner. They came in, they obtained a demolition permit, so that's our presentation to the commission, so.
I make a move that we vote to support the recommendation of the staff and demolish. Keep the pressure on.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, moving on, item B, consideration of possible action on the property of Martinez Roberto M., whose legal description is south 30 feet of lot. Is it 3? 5, lot 5, block 38, Eastern Division, subdivision currently known as 1212 Lexington Avenue. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance of 2013-025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Section 16.55 to 1, to 2, to 3A, to 3B, to 32, HI, 232 RU. We have not received any.
Roland,
Nobody has contacted us. I know Mr. Rodriguez has gone out to this site. We recommend demolition of this structure. And it's really bad. Obviously sunlight going in from the inside, so this is the structure.
Pretty bad shape.
Yeah, I don't know if it's repairable, I don't think it will be. So, again, staff recommends demolition of this property, so we would need to do a motion to open for a public hearing.
Make a motion to close the.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to speak for or against? ¿Alguien quiere hablar a favor o en contra de lo que el staff recomendó? Anybody wish to speak for or against? This is the property of 1212 Lexington Avenue. 1212 Lexington Avenue. ¿Alguien quiere hablar a favor o en contra? ¿Alguien quiere hablar a favor o en contra? Okay.
Make a motion.
Close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, what are the wishes of the commission?
As per staff, recommendation for demolition, I make a motion.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, item C, address of, sorry, too much. Let me get this.
Wow.
It's just a that. I don't know what else. Let me, well, this word, let me read it out loud. Consideration of possible action on the property of, is that the word? Roberto and Armando, I apologize, I forgot my glasses. Whose legal description is Lot 12, Block 286, Eastern Division, commonly known as 702. Is it 702 East Musser? Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance of 2013-025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Section 1655-1, 16.55-2, 16.55-23, 16.55.
It was A, yeah.
Yeah.
A and B, 60.55, 232B, 232A, 60.55, 232 H and I, 60.55, 232 R and U. I'm going to do these a little bit bigger now, so we can see them. I should have turned this into PDF, so it's gonna be a little, let's see if I can do it. Open with, let's see if I can convert it, but it might take a while. But basically, this property is also in bad condition, so we could kind of, staff does recommend demolition of the structure. The customers did not, contact us, so that's why.
Both structures.
You can open it.
Both structures.
Windows gallery.
Where you-
Where it's open.
If it's on this lot, there's 3 structures, and it says there's 2 in the back of the main structure that are dilapidated. So I guess they're okay with the main front structure.
I'm sorry, Mr. Larry?
This summary is talking that there's 3 structures on this one lot.
Yeah.
And these 2 that are bad are in the back, so I presume there's a nicer one in the front. So somebody's backyard's gotta be cleaned up.
It's actually in the site.
Mm.
That's what it's not it's not on Mosser, it's gonna be on,
Cedar.
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 It's actually, the address is through Musser, it's at the corner of Musser and Cedar. But
The house is face Cedar.
the house is, yeah. So it's one of those Eastern and Western Division lots. Let me bring up Google so you kind of get the idea.
Essentially the whole lot, lot 12, no?
And does the staff need to go by, like, the post office?
We have to,
designation
by
address?
law, we have to go by the legal address, and so we have to name it here in the meeting, 702 East Mustard, that kind of thing, but, you know, and if I, let me see.
Just so we're identifying it properly for the meeting.
Correct, we need to identify it by its legal name. Let me go to this property so we can find out. Let's see, somewhere right here. It's too far right here.
Type in the address up there.
702 Mustard Ave. Can I put 702?
That's just two.
You too. You can check.
Nobody lives in the front house, right?
There's been nobody living there, no.
There you go.
We're getting a row. Okay, this is.
That's in behind.
It's the mouse, it's not reaching.
We saw pictures, but
Yeah.
But it's those three structures
Yeah.
lined up.
See these three right here, that's really, this house somebody's living here and it's, you know, could use some clean out on the lot, but it's these, they're old, they're abandoned.
is there anybody here for that, or?
You wanna do which one?
Bring it over here, again, you do it that way. But you need to
We'll
close
just
the
have
other house.
Dinner recipes.
No dinner recipes, please. Salió funny cats. Hold on.
Back it up, back it up.
Back it up.
Let's see the funny cats.
That's why you want.
It's because it's not reaching. I think I'm blocking those. Look, it's coming out again.
What's going on there?
It's,
So the
The number?
Or is the
It's
number
you
locked on?
pressing
it
the,
is.
there's it's called fat fingers.
There we go.
See,
There we go, right there.
Laredo.
There we go.
So obviously it's around the corner. It's over here. So it's these structures right here. This is that 702 Mustard front, and it's these structures here. There's one, there's another one here. So even though the first structure, we're not saying that that's substandard, we're saying these two are substandard.
Mm-hmm.
So the pictures that we're seeing here on the, what was that picture? Here we go. That's inside pictures of the actual structures.
No.
Where's those are? So those are the two structures. And so these were on Operation Crackdown, but of course they didn't show up. So just to be, just to, and so.
Staff recommends that they demolish.
Well, yeah.
You have to have
So, do we already open a public hearing?
No, I move that we open a public hearing.
You move? Okay.
All in favor?
Right.
Anybody here to wish to speak for or against staff's recommendation of demolition of these two structures in the rear of 702 East Musser? Anybody here wish to speak for or against? Again, anybody wishing to speak for or against? Okay.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so what are the wishes of the committee?
Make a move that we follow staff recommendation.
Staff recommendation.
for demolition.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries.
Okay. Okay, 502 Washington.
Yeah, try to, that always works good. Open with,
Consideration of possible action to the property of Castillo Alejandro, whose legal description is Lot 1, Block 190, Western Division, commonly known as 502 Washington Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance 2013-0025, Article 1, Sections 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Section 16.55 to 1, to 2, to 3A, to 3B, to 3, HI, R, and U. Staff recommends demolition of the structure, no customer contact with all the notices and tagging that we did. So we will need a motion to open.
Motion, open up.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here wish to speak for or against 502 Washington Street?
Yes, please.
Adelante.
Yes,
Iglesia.
I did come to the meeting last time that was canceled. I don't know exactly what you meant with not
Okay, if
Contact.
you would say your name, are you?
Alejandro Castillo?
Alejandro Castillo.
Mhm.
So you're the owner?
Yes.
Go ahead. Let me give you the-
Yes, well, a few months when this was put on, this is not the notice that's on right now by Mr. Orozco, this was Ms. Ramirez, I believe. I did go with her, I talked with her, she told me, you know what, we're having some trouble because people are going inside and they're breaking in and this and that. So I talked to her and she recommended me to tamper windows and this and that. The property does not look like that right now at the moment. I think Mr. Orozco knows that. I have pictures here and everything. So we did basically what she asked. I went back with her. She said, okay, well, thank you. Clean everything up. We did it. And that was that. She said, okay, we're okay. And this is a few months after we got this other notice, and apparently it might be for a different reason. I'm not sure if it's for the same thing or...
It's the same reason.
But basically, we've tampered completely windows and...
And it was recorded that it's been boarded up before, but it continues to be a nuisance, and that's the issue.
That's the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
That's not,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not part of this property?
No.
Property?
No.
Property?
No, let me see.
Duplicate. And the inspector mentioned the property had been secured several times, yet it has still signs that transients are still occupying property.
we've had the problem that people have been wanting to, all that has been has been put with wood and metal on top of it. We also had it with this company that they didn't do a very good job. With, they were gonna supposedly maintenance and everything, and I was in Mexico City, and all that has been closed down with plywood, and I think Mr. Orozco has seen some of the things that we've done, no, to protect.
What's the intent of this? What are you gonna use this for?
Well, we've had certain projects, but we actually have it rented starting mid-November to a company or person who wants to sell cars, and supposedly went to the city and they were gonna permit it. And we told them that we were gonna do the mejoras, o sea, estamos haciéndole mejoras a la propiedad, ¿verdad?
Sí. ¿Puedo hablar español?
Sí, gracias. Y pues nuestra intención es que no sea un peligro ni un problema para la ciudad, obviamente, ¿no? Como les digo, no se ve así la propiedad en este momento. Tengo fotos aquí de cómo se ha cerrado todo.
Sí, esto fue en marzo.
Sí, y
¿Sí tienen las fotos?
sí.
Para que las mires ahorita.
Bueno, estas son de la última. Ahorita todavía hay más seguridad todavía que anteriormente. Cerramos atrás completamente, porque si quieren brincar muchos a la otra propiedad, a la propiedad del lado. O sea, no hay ninguna ventana abierta y todas las puertas tienen candado. Y repito, el fence ese que está atrás, ese se lo quieren brincar o romper o algo para meterse a la propiedad al lado. Ese ha sido un problema que hemos tenido y pues lo sellamos completamente para que no sucediera eso. Y tenemos la intención de hacer más mejoras y darle más seguridad a la propiedad.
Deja de dejar que pasen las fotos, darle oportunidad a alguien más. No sé si alguien más quiere hablar a favor o... Obviamente está en contra, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Me estoy verificando.
Sí.
A ponerlo en el récord.
Sí.
¿Qué plan tienen? ¿Reparar?
Sí, reparar, definitivamente reparar, ¿verdad? Hoy que tuve el gusto de hablar con usted por teléfono, estábamos...
¿Usted qué le está pidiendo al comité?
Que nos dé la oportunidad de hacer reparaciones las necesarias, ¿verdad? Y si hay necesidad de bardear, o sea, poner un fence o algo para evitar que se meta gente y eso. La propiedad es vieja, pero realmente está bien hecha la propiedad, ¿verdad? Entonces, eso es lo que yo pediría, esa oportunidad.
Okay. ¿Alguien más quiere hablar a favor o en contra de este caso? Okay.
Motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, what are the wishes of the commission?
What's staff recommendation on this case here that we have?
I'm gonna give it to
The board can only recommend for
three things we already told.
repair, board up.
Right,
So, but what are we recommending? They're asking.
exactly, what's recommendation
We're
by
recommending
staff?
demolition. And, he obviously has 30 days to petition against the board, against it. And, but, as you can see, it's been a nuisance for a while. It's through the process, and if he's, if there's gonna be a permit for repair, the owner is the only one can obtain it, and they gotta show, complete, repair, to standards. And so,
Question for the inspectors, I guess. It's structurally sound?
No. Not the walls. The walls are giving in. insulation's gone already. And there's a lot of work.
Does our board have the authority to grant like a 30-day?
Yes, it's to the wishes. You can have a time limit if you want to give them, again, you have three options. You could say demolition to repair, but you have so much time to, it's all depending on what you guys, would want to do.
How long has he been notified about this problem?
Well, that was tagged in March.
March, right.
That was corrected and then
And they boarded up.
it wasn't enough.
As he spoke, he came into the office, and there at the office, he
What's the
made an
condition?
effort to fix it from that to what you saw in the pictures. But again, given the committee, you guys have the option to grant them time.
Just curious, how long a time would it take for the city, if he's got somebody as a tenant, supposedly to fix up and to meet to the city's requirement of building standards to get a permit? Is that a month, or is that already processed? I don't know.
We're starting, it's barely coming to the committee, and I'm barely learning about the pictures. We meet a week before to make sure that what we want to recommend. Those pictures, I wasn't aware of it at the meeting. I don't know if you were aware of it. So we didn't have any, but again, you guys have.
But it was recommended, Mr. Pistola recommended us to demolish.
If we could get some time, that would be.
And of course, the owner is asking for time to repair. So
I would say give him 30 days and produce a lease and produce an application for a permit. And if he doesn't get it, then go to demolition.
okay, within 30 days? Is that your recommendation?
That'd be
Mr.
my
Rao?
recommendation, but there's other people.
Okay, it's still in discussion.
Well, he had plenty of time already for 8 months to do something about it, and it's coming down to the point where he's already forced to do something about it. But he had plenty of time
It's March.
for something to do about it. It's in the same, it's the same time as back in March as it is now, isn't it?
Ms. Fonseca, I'm sorry, you had a question?
I was asking about interior photographs because I don't see anything to
Did we ever get access? We didn't get access to it, so it was secure, I guess.
And the orange building is brick, the gray portion of the orange.
Let me,
Portions
I believe that is
portions are brick.
it used to be a gasoline station back in the day. Very back in the day.
Are there any gas tanks?
No, they were taken out.
Is it clean or?
What was that?
It's completely clean, yes.
You got a phase one, clean by the state.
Yes, it's completely clean.
I'm in favor of giving them 30 days.
I agree to hear motion. Anybody would?
I'd make a motion, we give the owner 30 days, and that time period to produce a signed lease and a permit for improvements from the city. And if it's not produced within 30 days, then continue on with staff recommendation of demolition.
A second.
All in
By a
favor?
signed lease, does not necessarily mean that they're gonna,
But then also the
Okay.
building permit.
okay,
The
so
building permit, he's got to go and produce what they're going
signed
to
lease to
do.
get a permit, so another,
Well, no,
He needs the
the
plans, he
city,
needs
the
everything.
city has already given him
Yeah,
the
sure.
permit.
so within 30 days, get a permit
Right,
to repair.
yeah.
So
And in order to get a permit, they will need a signed lease.
if they don't get nothing in 30 days, are we bringing this
No,
back?
we already
to-
have it, I'm proposing
We'll go
already
for
continues
demolition.
to demolition.
Oh, so it is a demolition order, but with 30 days?
After 30 days.
After 30
And who's
days.
going to apply for the permit? The
Only
owner?
the owner.
Only the owner can apply.
But he has 30 days to
get a permit.
get a
It's
permit.
not gonna
Whether
start that.
there's a lease or not.
And is there a time span for how much he has to build that?
Well, a permit is good for 6 months.
6 months, exactly.
Typically, but we're not gonna issue a permit unless in these conditions. Once it gets to this stage, I know that's one of the things the director of building wanted, is if it gets to this point, we basically want an architect to come in and say, this is how it's correctly fixed, to make it.
We're not gonna make the decision what,
We're not gonna
tell you what needs to be done.
Exactly.
We can't tell you
Right.
what needs to be done.
So he needs to bring a professional
Right, so,
to,
so you have to put the wherewithal and get an actual permit to satisfy.
We do it 30 days.
Yeah.
After that, he
He
goes
does
back to
it,
demolition.
Yeah.
Now, they can begin the process to take permit. Because the plan review could take up to 21 days. Now, it doesn't mean that we're gonna take that long, but it could be,
Could be.
you know, we meet this. So as long as they initiate a permit within 30 days, that means sufficient proof that they're willing to comply.
I don't know if I want to do that, give him, I'm starting the process.
Yeah.
He's already supposed to started it.
But in order to
Produce
get,
it.
to- in order to apply for the permit, he's gonna have to have professional services.
Yeah, and that might take a while.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It can take forever, and
Yeah.
some kid can get hurt in there. Okay?
True.
That's what I'm saying, just so they clarify.
That's why
At
we
which point are
recommend
we going to
demolition.
allow?
Yeah, 30
For that
days to
reason.
get a permit, and if no permit, demolition.
What if he's getting a permit to stabilize? Is that sufficient?
Let's see what the city does.
This is how it, I don't know, what do you-
That's when we purchased it.
2016, this is what it was the old,
It was rented.
yeah, so this is the structure that we're really looking at.
Mhm.
So obviously, it's not like that anymore. So, but just to give you an idea where it is.
Go to Connect Explorer might be a,
Something
We're
like
not having a hard time with that.
Let's go ahead.
Vámonos.
Okay,
So what did we decide?
anybody, okay, so
Take a vote and then.
there was a motion for 30 days to bring a lease, and if not,
And a
after the
permit.
30 days, and a permit, if not, go to a demolition process, which could take a while anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And once the committee, just want to be clear to the owner, that if within the 30 days you don't produce a permit, that either the city demolishes or you demolish.
Okay,
So,
understood. Thank you.
okay, so is that,
We have to get a vote on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so I was saying, is that,
was there a first?
first?
Yeah.
So the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Same sign, motion carries.
All right. Moving on to item E, communication, consideration of possible action on the property of Rene, Sepulveda Rene, whose legal description is the west 34 feet of Lot 1, Block 155, Western Division, subdivision commonly known as 1819 Lincoln. Staff declares this property is a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of the Chapter 16, Section 16.5521, 22, 23A, 23B, 232HI, RNU. Maria Ochoa, or Representative Maria Ochoa, who is the current owner, obtained a demolition permit for repair, though staff still recommends demolition of this property. Does anybody here wish to speak for or against staff's recommendation?
1819.
Ahora sí.
Si alguien quiere hablar a favor o en contra de la recomendación del Departamento de Building.
Luis González, ¿quiere dar a favor o en contra?
Sí, a favor.
No, no, no es a favor. No creo que quiere que la tumben, nosotros no estamos diciendo que la tumben.
A contra.
En contra.
¿En contra o a favor?
Ah,
En contra.
en contra. Ok.
Obviamente estas fotos son de July.
And they've already obtained a permit for demo For the inside.
Yeah, they're gutting it out, and they want to redo electrical, plumbing, mechanical. We're recommending them to bring architectural plans, to make sure that the structure itself is safe.
That was my question, if the
The
interior.
interior walls are old, yeah,
Yeah,
but,
but to know whether they're load bearing or not.
right, so what they're doing is they're demolishing so that a professional can come in and take a look
What
at it.
if they're gonna demolish the load bearing wall?
No, I mean by demolish, I mean demolish the sheet rock.
Only the sheetrock,
Sheet
not the
rock,
walls.
yeah, not the
Gut it out.
actual, they're gonna
They're
cut it
gonna
out.
leave the structure.
Yeah, leave the structure to see what conditions, what needs to be replaced. And so that's my understanding, but, sorry, it's their turn.
So we want to open the hearing?
Open up the.
Yes, it's open to public
Yes,
hearing.
ma'am.
So I just asked to see if,
Okay, will you make a motion?
no, we,
Okay, sorry.
do we make a motion to open up the public? hearing?
No.
Let's make a motion to open up public hearing.
Yeah, we need one.
Yeah, we-
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second. Ustedes,
Aye.
All right.
All in favor?
Si ustedes gustan hablar sobre la situación de la
Gracias, tiempo.
Bueno, como yo ya me quedé bien dormido. Ya limpiamos, ahí tienes las fotos con esto. Bien dormido. Si quieres pasar todo. La propiedad se compró el 4 de octubre, fue un viernes. El 7, que fue el lunes, fui a preguntar para sacar permiso, a ver qué se podía hacer para remodelar. Inmediatamente empezamos a limpiar. Como esta propiedad es para una persona ya adulta, está muy bien el tamaño, no queremos algo grande, es para ella sola. Mi esposo se va a encargar de remodelar
contratar a
todo.
una persona para que remodele todo. Ya estuve platicando con Lisette, y lo que queremos hacer es tumbar ciertas paredes de la parte de adentro, poner drenaje nuevo, tubería de drenaje nuevo, tubería de agua nueva, hacerle modificaciones al techo, poner toda la electricidad nueva, todo el cable de electricidad nuevo. Y pues prácticamente ya empezamos la limpieza. También queremos cambiar algunas ventanas, y ya empezamos a poner puertas para que tenga seguridad la casa. Igualmente vamos a poner una cerca en la parte de enfrente. La parte de atrás pues ya está todo cercado, y tiene una barda en la parte de atrás, y para asegurar que no entren vagabundos, poner la cerca en la parte de enfrente. Igualmente cambiar pues lo que sea necesario para que no haya ningún peligro para la gente.
Solo que nos interesa que se quede el cascarón de afuera, porque como acaba de comprarla, pues la vamos a ayudar, pero no podemos soltar tanto dinero, entonces sería poco a poco, obviamente.
Igualmente ya fuimos con un arquitecto porque nos hicieron croquis, ahí viene,
Nos hizo un poco de...
nos hizo.
Y tenemos toda la disposición.
¿Este arquitecto está registrado en el estado o no? Para determinar la estructura, si es, seguridad, seguro en la estructura, las condiciones, ¿verdad?
Nos iban a pasar el contacto de
Sí, no, la verdad no,
no supimos si él sí, pero...
así es. Nada más ¿cómo se llama? Le dijimos lo que queríamos y ya nos dijo, ¿sabes qué? Mira esto, sí, vayan con esto a ver si les ayuda para que les dejan la construcción, y ya después ya vienen para certificarlo o para...
El director nuevo quiere que sea un arquitecto registrado,
así es.
para que,
Sí,
que
para
para
darle
contraten
mayor
a alguien que no se
Así
vaya a no tenga que pagar por un servicio.
Así es, para darle mayor certificación.
So basically, they did just purchase the property October the 4th, and that was basically a Friday. So on Monday, they showed up for a demolition permit to start rehabilitating that project. And they were advised that it was in the substandard, and that was the first they had heard. As a matter of fact, they did go out to see it, and at least that's what they told us. I know Mr. Orozco was there, and that's when we advised them, and they were not aware of it. They're trying to make, repair.
Is we still an open meeting?
It's still under open meeting, yes. You guys can't.
And the inspector, oh, we can't do that?
Well, we want to make sure anybody else wants to speak for or against this property. And then, I guess you guys can do recommendations. It's a copy of the permit there. ¿Alguien más quiere hablar a favor o en contra de este caso? Was tagged, they're claiming that the seller did not advise them. So, though they saw it, they said, no, it was gonna be fine, but you can obviously see it's,
But they just purchased it this month.
La propiedad ya como ahí aparecen las fotos, ya está limpia, toda completa. Ya está, así como están las fotos, ya está toda limpia. Igualmente ya le pusimos puertas, nada más queremos la autorización de ustedes para cambiar ventanas, y seguir con la remodelación. Igualmente pues ya sacamos permisos del agua.
una de las cosas que no puede hacer es tumbar barrotes.
Sí, no.
Nomás es el rock,
Sí, porque
para que vaya alguien que sepa,
Sí, alguien
no
que
nomás
sepa,
el
sí.
arquitecto, sino la ciudad para que verifique, porque el arquitecto tiene que traer planos.
Así es.
Esos son los requisitos del departamento de
So that concludes the
Yeah,
public
we
hearing.
close it.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries.
All right, what are the wishes of the commission?
Staff recommendation,
We had put the demolition, but they obtained a permit, and it's again, Jerry, we're gonna go by the same.
I mean, we continue with the staff recommendations in the demolition, but obviously you do have the option after you heard the case.
Have you all gone since they purchased it and they started cleaning stuff up? Is it secure now? There's still safety
I couldn't
hazards?
go in because it was already closed and secure.
But is it, so it looks like it's secure,
Yeah.
there's not vandals going in there,
No.
broken windows?
What does the structure look like?
It's looking good. I mean, they're not doing anything farther, just they closed the door and
But
it doesn't look substandard anymore.
There's a gate around it now?
There was
A gate?
There's not a fence around
No.
it?
there's no fence.
not in front, just around in the backyard, but we don't have access to it.
How long is the permit good for that they pulled to do the inside demo?
Technically, it's for 6 months, but I'm sure they're not gonna wanna wait the whole 6 months. I don't know. That's, if
They
you wanna
said they
ask.
bought it for,
They
to
recently
somebody?
bought it for their, I believe it's their mother, to live there. And they're trying to repair it. But,
So they got a permit, I'd suggest we give them, say, 30 or 60 days to continue
demolish.
advancing on the repairs, and if we see that they're continuing, we can give them extension, but if they stop, well, then we go to
There's a
demolition.
right
Would
to
you ask them
demolish.
to come back to give you a report? Do you want us to give you a report?
I'd say
At the
get
next
it from
meeting?
staff, not.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
them.
I said for us to give you a report, what the progress has been.
Mhm.
60 days or 30 days?
I agree,
or what?
60 is probably fair.
So is this a demolition order after 60 days, or are we bringing the
They can,
case
they
back?
can
after
order it
60
to
days?
repair, or they can order it.
We're getting the building permits to start off.
I'm sorry?
Well, we already got building permits.
No, they did not, they got a demo permit to
Oh.
establish the scope of work.
Just to gut it out.
Yes, just to gut it out. Because, I mean,
When we go
we don't know what
60 days,
conditions.
Yeah.
You make most of that?
Yeah, it looks like they've got some obvious
Interesting,
progress
yeah,
here,
yeah.
so. Did we close out the public hearing?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we
Okay,
did.
good. All right. And I make a motion, we give them 60 days to pursue their improvements and reparations and permit. And if we don't see advances, then we continue with the demolition.
So 60 days to repair, if not demolish. Is that what I understood?
Yes, sir. Because if we took it off of demo path, then it takes a long time to put it back on. So I don't want to get the foot off the gas.
So in 60 days, y'all have to come back and give us a
Well,
report.
you want 60
upfront.
days or?
60 days.
60 days for demolition, he said, right?
Yeah.
60 days from now, that'd be, I believe this, probably early
Well,
January.
by January, January meeting.
And we're seeing continued progress on that permits?
Then we can extend it again.
Sure.
Right, because they can't finish the job in 60
Okay.
days.
Yeah, probably.
Your motion, we got to hear a second?
I second it.
You second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
So I guess you want to explain that, or?
Yeah. ¿Entendieron inglés? Ok. Le estaba diciendo, el comité decidió de darle 60 días, o sea, para la junta de enero, regresar y ver el caso si sí le están avanzando o no, porque lo que quieren es que no se queden esas condiciones. Lo que pasa muchas veces es que vienen a decir, no, vamos a tumbarlo, vamos a repararlo, y se queda a medias porque el permiso es válido por 6 meses. En 60 días o 2 meses más o menos para enero en la Junta, quieren ver que sí están avanzándole para que sí darles chance. Obviamente representaron que tienen un plan para hacer esto, pero si no siguen adelante, ellos están diciendo que si en enero no se mira que le avanzaron, pues nosotros nos están dando la autoridad de tener una orden de tumbar. Eso es lo que recomendó el comité, que le da 60 días, y si en 60 días regresamos, avanzamos, les pueden dar más tiempo, pero pues traer más fotos y decir, mire cómo vamos.
And part of the advancing is getting a permit.
Y parte de avanzar es que obtengan un permiso de construcción. Esa sería la meta de ustedes, y para nosotros necesitaríamos unos planes de un arquitecto que cómo le vayan a hacer. Eso fue la decisión del comité. Gracias. Okay, moving on to item F. Consideration of possible action on the property of Pedro Minerva Rodriguez, whose legal description is Lot 1 and Lot 3 of Block 1 Western Division, commonly known as 1702 Main Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current ordinance. Current adopted ordinance of 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Sections 16.55 to 1, to 2, to 3A, to 3AB, 232HI, R, and U. There's been no customer contact with the department, and staff recommends demolition of this structure. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's the one we just looked at. So it's main, we brought this before, and this is a mobile home. It's in
That's
back.
only the first 3 pictures.
Only if- So there's barely any I think they looked in, and barely any floor on the mobile home. And as you guys know, any mobile home repairs need to come to the state and for housing. This is an old mobile home that's, nobody lives there, there's no meters to it, so it's been abandoned, it's been like that for a while.
It looks like also that it's just a mobile home, it doesn't have dirt tied to it.
I believe the owners are, this is rear, so there's a actual 1702 is still,
They live in the front.
yeah, I don't know if they rent the front as
This
well.
is their house.
There's a front,
There's a brick structure here.
Yes.
Yeah, the front
Right
is-
next to it, right?
it's,
The owner, she's going to recently died,
Oh,
and the family kids are
Hace ver,
yeah,
así va la esta es.
5.
all right.
So,
So there's the hazard of the mobile home behind this house, and nobody responded.
I know exactly how to get
well,
there.
did that, I don't know. Should they-
Go ahead, Jerry, what?
No, nobody responded.
No, there's been no customer contact at all.
And it doesn't have utility services right now?
No, not to the mobile home, to the house in the front it does.
Yeah.
So we move to make a public hearing on this one, right?
Yes.
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Anybody here to speak for or against 1702 main rear? Anybody here wish to speak for or against 1702 main rear? Anybody wish to speak for or against 1702 main rear?
Make a motion to close up the.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, what are the wishes of the
Make a
commission?
motion for staff recommendation on the structure there. on the mobile home.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries.
Consideration of possible action to the property of Solis Sara G, whose legal description is 105 and 107 San Eugenio Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance of 2013-0025. Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Sections 16.55 to 1, to 2, 23A, 23B, 232H, I, R, and U. Staff declares this, staff recommends demolition of this structure. So this is a public hearing, we need a motion to open.
Motion to open public hearing.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to speak for or against 107, 105 San Eugenio Street? Let me,
This is 105.
which one is it? These are, I believe we brought this before, but with the wrong address. So we kind of already looked at it. However, by law, we needed to bring it back to make sure that the correct address was addressed so that we properly give the owners time to look at this. So this is obviously La Azteca subdivision. It's, nobody's living there. There are two old structures, a tree fell on it.
Did we open the hearing?
Yes, we've opened the public hearing. Anybody wish to speak for or against? Anybody here to speak for or against? Anybody here to wish to speak for or against this?
I move we close the public hearing.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so what are the wishes of the commission?
I move that we follow staff recommendation for demolition.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to item H, consideration of possible action on the property of Salinas Jose Romero and San Juana, I believe that's what it says, San Juana subdivision commonly known as 3002 Saltillo Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the adopted ordinance 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Sections 16.55 to 1, to 2, 23A and B, 232 H, I, R, and U. Staff recommends, I know we put on there demolition, but we're actually going to recommend to board up. Saltillo.
Go to the main. The folder on main,
Okay. Thank you.
the fourth page. The fourth one.
From the fourth on?
Okay, this man, he called the office today. He lives in San Antonio, so he couldn't make to the meeting. He's asking permission. He already boarded up the property, according to him, and he has plans of repairing. So I'm just passing the message.
And structure looks fine, is that?
Yes.
Structure looks fine?
The only damage is the
Did
tree
we open?
inside.
Did we open the?
Close the public hearing.
No, we did not open.
Can I make a motion to open public hearing?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Who second?
Chris.
Chris. Just documenting. All right. Anybody wish to speak for or against 3202 Saltillo? Anybody wish to speak for or against 3202 Saltillo? Anybody wish to speak for or against 3202 Saltillo? Okay.
I can move that we close the public hearing.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we can discuss. Thank you, Jerry. So staff recommends actual boarding up of the structures in sound condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
And now you can
recommend
mention.
follow staff recommendations and what.
To secure it up.
To secure it?
Yes.
Okay, just to mention, Mr. Jose Salinas, he called the office today. He couldn't make it to the office, to the meeting. According to him, he already boarded the property, and he's just asking time to repair.
It's already been a
So if
motion.
it's already boarded, what, we're gonna ask?
It's already made a motion for staff recommendation.
But we
I'll
haven't
correct the.
verified.
We haven't verified if it's boarded, that's correct.
Let's just go with the boarding.
Right, so unless it's already boarded, right?
You're gonna go with boarding.
30 days to
Mm-hmm.
inspect.
We
the
recommend boarding.
3
So
days, okay.
what are the wishes of the board?
We see.
Staff recommendation. Make the motion on staff recommendation, the board up.
building. Mr. Fontaine had already made it out.
Yeah, you did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was missed,
Then you second it?
seconded.
All right. You want to vote on it?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Same sign of motion.
Next.
Consideration of possible action on the property of Ayala Pomposa, whose legal descriptions of Lot 1, Block 180, Western Division, subdivision, commonly known as 408 Victoria Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance of 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Sections 16.5521, 22, 23A, 23B, 232, H, I, R, and U. This staff recommends partial demolition of the rear wooden structure, not the whole structure. Let me explain. That would be Victoria.
Yeah, historic building, that's fine.
Yeah, but we're only recommending the wooden structure, because this is,
This is not historic district.
Open up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we're only referring to this part, not actual this part. This is actually.
Motion to open up public hearing. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So is their structure sound, the one next to it? There's no issues with that one?
Yes, it's secured.
The roof is good?
This roof,
Just the wood. Yeah.
it's just this.
So we open for public hearing, is there anybody present?
Anybody wish to speak for or against 408 Victoria Street? Again, recommendation is to partially demo the rear wooden structure. Anybody here to wish to speak for or against? Anybody here to wish to speak for or against 408 Victoria Street?
I have a question. I don't know if I can ask a
You want to
question.
speak for or against?
Yeah.
Or what you, oh,
So, never mind, that's okay.
this is the, for 408 Victoria.
I'll wait till- No, no, it's good.
And you can ask questions, but do we want to close public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. I'd make a motion, we follow staff recommendation on partial demolition of the wood structure attached to the brick.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the next property on the list is 1916 Bruni Street. Consideration of possible action on the property of Martinez Maria A. deceased, whose legal description is the east half of Lot 2, Block 533, Western Division, subdivision, commonly known as 1916 Bruni Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance of 2013-0025, Article 1, Sections 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Sections 16.55 to 1, to 2, to 3A, to 3AB, to 3.2, HI, R, and U. Staff recommends boarding of this structure.
Make a motion for a public hearing, Brian.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody to wish for or against? 1916 Bruni, anybody wish to speak for or against? ¿Alguien quiere hablar en favor de lo que dice el comité?
De la
My
calle
name
Bruni.
is Christina Lara. You're just saying that it needs to be boarded? right?
Staff recommends boarding of the structure.
I know it's boarded already.
We're making a recommendation based on the status of this, so if it is boarded,
If-
Estas fechas fue de julio 26. ¿Lo han hecho después?
But it's, what else does it need
there's
to be boarded?
boarding here.
Yeah.
Ah, ok. Just, no
So
puede,
we just
no
need to
qui-
reboard again?
Well, there's a section in the back, right?
Because I know the door in the back. So basically the door in the back, right, needs to be closed? And that's it? Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Those two doors?
Yeah.
no puede dejar que nadie entre.
Okay.
You just
Sí,
prevent
está
from
bacán.
anybody going in.
Okay.
But the boarding is gonna be only for how
For
long?
how long? What's gonna be the plan?
¿Qué van a hacer con esta casa? What are you guys gonna do with this?
It depends on my stepmother.
I am for the demolition, and I am shopping around to get prices for demolishing the structure. Because it's
So
a nuisance, like you
you
said.
wanna demolish it?
Yes, and I am shopping around, like the gentleman had told me last meeting.
And that's, I mean, si lo van a hacer ustedes, es mejor. Si lo hacemos nosotros, le cuesta más.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm shopping around to get prices, to see who would give me a better price. And I just ask for time for me to have the money to demolish the structure.
How much time do you, I'm sorry, your name again?
My name is Wendy Lara, I'm sorry.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Are you the legal owner? Who's the legal owner?
There's no legal owner at the moment, sir. We still need to fix that. But since the city was calling on this property, my best bet is just to demolish because the structure is no good. And if you board it up, they'll bring it down because it was boarded a long time, like probably before 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It was boarded up, but people come in and out, they take it out. This was I had all made an application for the Operation Crackdown, but since there was no legal owner, they canceled it.
They couldn't accept you.
Yeah,
Can you get a permit for demo if you?
Well,
that's another one I was gonna ask.
we're in a catch-22, we're asking them to address the nuisance, and if there is no legal owner and are you guys paying on the taxes?
I am.
So based on that, they can bring us information that they're paying, so they're making themselves responsible for the property by paying taxes. We've done it because we're asking to basically address the nuisance. So, but as far as building, yeah, we would kind of ask them to go through the process of you know, there's a state process to get when a deceased didn't leave a will, whose property is in question, that they can go and somebody can obtain a legal, being the owner. So for a permit, we do request that.
Do you have records that they did go
For a
through
permit for
Operation
building, I'm
Crackdown?
sorry.
Is it on the records that it went through Operation Crackdown? It was identified?
I believe it was, I can't remember exactly for sure, but we can find that out. But as far as for demoing, since we've tagged it, we basically put the responsibility on the owner. If they're willing, denying them a permit is kind of like a catch-22. So that's really where I believe the building, but Mr. Pinzon being the acting building official, then he would have the last say-so.
I'm just a little confused, there's two parties that have talked, one wants boarding, one wants demo.
I'm sorry, yeah. So because we were recommending for boarding, because we at least wanted that to be boarded up, but. So,
Well, considering the fact that it's gonna take a while to get a demo permit anyway, we gotta board it. I would advise.
No, pues no sabía yo que era la respuesta de ella. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
What was the,
I'm saying, since it's gonna take you time to get a demo permit, till you figure out the ownership issue, the city's main concern is gonna wanna board it for the meantime,
okay,
for security reasons,
yes.
so that some kids don't go in there or whatnot, vagrants. So I think that motion, or I don't know if the motion.
that's the reason.
That recommendation
It
is.
comes after the recommendation.
Right, anytime we recommend a boarding, we want like a time limit or kind of like, what are you gonna do with the property? Because by boarding it, you're basically announcing it's a vacant structure and.
Did we open?
Yeah, we open up the public hearing.
It's open now, it hasn't been closed.
It's already been like 3 minutes over.
I need to speed up his editing. Alright,
Okay.
so anybody else to wish speak for or against? Alright,
Motion to close public hearing?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion that we allow them to board up the building and get 30 days to get that done.
30 days to board up.
And then,
If they want to demolish it, then they have to get the permit.
So after boarded up, how much longer do we want to give them, or?
As long
30
as it
days.
stays properly boarded. As long as it stays properly boarded.
Okay. So is that a motion? Mr. Lowry? 30 days? Is there anybody else want to?
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you got 30 days to board up the property.
Very good. Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So now you guys will. All right, item K, consideration of possible action on the property of Caballero Adelfa S., whose legal description is Lot 4, Block 147, Western Division, commonly known as 1804 Hidalgo Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Sections 16.55 to 1, to 2, to 3A, to 3B, to 32 H, I, R, and U. Staff recommends removal of the debris and the board up. And by that we mean,
they're saying demolish.
Yeah, that's what it says, demolish.
it said demolish, but I think we spoke to Mr. Garcia on this.
Yeah, we did.
There's a lot of debris here, like this debris, to board up and to pick that up, and that debris, so.
There's no roof. So,
Right.
So it's just a
It's
brand
not a
new.
historical, it's not a historical.
Is that an historical? This is downtown, this is in my, are we sure?
You guys can go against our recommendation.
yeah, I'm gonna say, well, I'll make.
You can.
But you need to
Need to open it up for public.
Yeah, first open.
Motion to open a public hearing?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to speak for or against 1804 Hidalgo Street? Anybody here wish to speak for or against Hidalgo Street? Anybody here to wish to speak for or against 1804 Hidalgo Street?
Make a motion to close up the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're doing public notice.
Judging since it's really dilapidated, there's no roof, it's gonna continue to get destabilized, I'd move to order it to be demolished.
If this is in the historical district,
You say
we
historical
would need,
district, right?
I need to double check, it may be
Yeah,
1804.
it looks like it, but
Yeah.
If it's in the historical district,
We have to go
and,
to
We would need,
the building official can request the historical commission to demolish due to the conditions. And since there has been no effort to repair or anything, and it's a notice to them, they don't have to vote.
well, but we need a, yeah, you're correct, the building official has the authority to deem it dangerous, and,
and has staff notified the historical people that, hey,
no, and that's where I was getting at.
We will have
We
to.
probably wanna, perhaps, I mean, you know, staff needs to look at it, so I don't know what Mr. Garcia and how he's gonna wanna,
I would make a motion that we again suggest we go to demolition, but first run it by historical commission to get their concurrence.
to the building official.
yeah, because I don't know if this is repairable unless they're gonna put enough money. I mean, I guess everything's repairable, right?
Have they come forward, at least?
No.
So that's the issue here.
Yeah. And if it is in the district, I need to double check.
Staff recommendations, well, staff, board it up, or clean it up.
But if you can see
Yeah,
the
but you
building
can't
boarded
agree.
up,
Yeah, it's been boarded up already.
No roof, okay? And just
Waste of money.
it's all cracked.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
that's
cracks
the
on the
moisture getting
structure
in there.
itself.
You may make a recommendation for staff to go ahead and go.
No. I'm sorry.
You made a,
You made a recommendation to not go by staff's recommendation and to go to demolish. That was it.
Correct.
That was the motion.
But first get, just
Yeah, we-
advise.
Yes, to go to historical. But to demo.
bring the historical.
Concurrence.
First, get this historical, send it to historical board.
That's my.
If it is in the historical district. right.
Yeah. So I made a motion.
It should
I'll second
go in
that.
the-
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
And Larry and the Perez, and everybody's for.
Okay.
Laredo, consideration of possible action on the property of Rodriguez Jesus and Norma, whose legal description is south 69 feet of Lot 1, Block 1572 Eastern Division, commonly known as 2601 Davis Street. Oh,
Yes.
Diaz.
Yes.
I know you. Rear. 2601 Diaz Street rear. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4, Chapter 16, Sections 16.5521, 22, 23A, 23B, 232, HIRNU. I have another address of 605 South Texas because I believe that is
The
the,
owner's main.
is that the owner's main address?
Make a motion to open up public hearing.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to speak for or against 2601 Díaz Street rear? ¿Alguien quiere hablar para 2601 Díaz?
Sí, a eso veníamos a...
Muy bien.
Bueno, para ver si nos podían ayudar a tumbar. No, nosotros no podemos tumbar, esta es pérdida total, la que tenemos.
¿Qué más quiere avisar?
Que ahí están, han metido, se meten ilegales y se meten, ahorita están metiendo niños, como hay gatos. enseguida del departamento se están metiendo niños a ver los gatitos y está craqueada, está muy peligrosa.
Sí,
Disculpe, ¿su nombre?
Aparte de que se está cayendo, anda.
¿Son los dueños?
Jesús Rodríguez, sí.
Ok. Ah, ok.
Jesús es Norma.
Sí.
No, Dios.
Y a eso veníamos no podemos tumbarla nosotros, nos sale muy caro, no podemos. Por eso veníamos porque ahí se meten gente y está muy peligroso.
Nosotros vimos a una niña que andaba allá afuera, adentro del patio, juntando gatitos, como se juntan muchos gatos así, hacen cría. Y andaba una niña ahí, y salió una señora allá afuera y le pregunté qué andaba haciendo. Y dijo que andaba, pues que andaba agarrando un gatito a la niña. Pues es que está muy peligroso ahí, que se está cayendo.
¿Cuánto tiempo tiene más o menos en la condición? Porque parece que se quemó ahí.
Se nos quemó en 2015, en mayo de 2015.
No puede limpiarle.
Afuera, adentro no.
La razón que digo es que la ciudad ahorita, si la tumba, el costo de tumbarla les van a cobrar. Y aparte les van a cobrar interés después de un año si no lo pagan.
Se graba al valor del terreno.
Sí.
Entonces al vender, pues vas a tener que liquidar primero la ciudad y luego los remanentes si hay, pues
sí, porque hay un programa federal, pero viene a veces y a veces no tumba. Hubo casos que gente se apuntaron y pensaron que el gobierno los iba a hacer gratis y a veces que sí. Pero este comité no es eso. Este comité es para decir, es responsable de los dueños. Los dueños tienen que, lo único que, nomás para avisarle, para estar bien claro, porque no quiero que después piensen otra cosa, porque obviamente está en condiciones que se tiene que tumbar, como usted dice.
We're still open to talk, right? So
Y es still open public.
the 100 grand that you mentioned, that if it's used, it has to get paid back anyway.
Yes.
By the-
It's
okay.
I guess they
It's not a grant,
call it-
it's a, okay.
Yeah, it's city tax dollars that were assigned for this, and that the intent is to start, being that we're a border city, it's a push by not only the city council, but, it's a push to try to not have structures there
Understood.
that are, possible nuisances and things like that.
Okay.
¿Algo más quiere avisarle al comité?
Sí, que ahí nos están tirando basura y es mucho trabajo estar limpiando y nos están tirando, la gente nos tira basura, llantas, ay no. Dicen, yo estoy enferma, por eso no podemos.
¿No piensan vender la propiedad?
No pensar, es que no.
Pues es lo único que
no,
tenemos.
es lo que tenemos, no podemos. ¿cómo?
Pero sí tienen en cuenta que la ciudad no va a tumbar la propiedad gratis, o sea, tiene un costo.
Pero qué
Un costo
costo.
que al final de cuentas
Lo que cueste la construcción,
tiene que-
más 10%. Eso, y nosotros no queremos llegar a ese punto, por eso hacemos esto, para que los dueños estén de acuerdo que qué es lo que pasaría.
Sí.
Porque últimamente es responsabilidad de los dueños. Y entonces, toda esta información, para el comité, que es la decisión, ¿verdad? Entonces, si el comité decide, X, lo que va a decidir, si ya deciden de tumbarla, o la tumban ustedes o la tumban la ciudad. Pero ellos tienen el poder de decirnos eso, o si, pero si está diciendo que la quiere tumbar, pero no tiene el dinero, pues, ¿verdad? Entonces, si esa es la intención, ¿verdad? Y no, para que no queremos engañar, ¿verdad? Que queremos estar diciéndolo bien claro.
Sí. Pero hay una parte donde nos podrían ayudar a tumbar sin cobrarnos lo mínimo.
Hubo un programa y todavía viene una vez al año. Empieza en marzo, viene acabando en septiembre. Pero este último año no pudieron venir por X razón. Como ya tiene la ciudad ahorita fondos, antes nomás era como un regaño, ahora ya tenemos fondos para actualmente contratar a gente que vayan y tumben. Ya este director nuevo está obteniendo dinero del concilio y aquí de los manejantes de la ciudad, para que no quieren que haya casas que se puedan meter o mojados o que puedan hacer, y lo dije mal, ilegales, perdón.
Sí.
Pero se meta gente ahí porque están, ¿cómo se dice? Attracting. Están tratando de, o sea, donde haya gente.
De evitar problemas que suceden como
Sí, porque si llega a pasar algo ahí, últimamente los dueños tienen la responsabilidad,
Sí.
no mande Dios que alguien vaya y
Yo sé, pero no entienden.
son responsabilidad de los dueños de tapar, que no se puedan meter, limpiar, todo lo que se esté ahí, ¿verdad? Obviamente si estuvieron tirando ahí cosas,
Sí.
todo eso se tiene que estar sacando y tirando, llevándose, no sé si, por eso decía, si querían vender, a lo mejor le venden y dicen, mire, primero sácalo todo y te cobro tanto, no sé.
Nosotros lo que queríamos era limpiar y meter una trailita donde...
Pues para rentar, dirá. Para rentar
No,
eso ahí.
para nosotros.
O para ustedes.
Para nosotros, sí.
Pues, primeramente tendrían que limpiar ahí. ¿Algo más que le quiera decir al comité?
No, si no, por eso veníamos, pensamos que había un programa que nos iban a ayudar a tumbar.
Pueden avisarle a Community Development, ese es otro departamento. Después de la junta yo les aviso, si quieren esperar. ¿Alguien más quiere hablar para este caso?
I move to close the public hearing.
A second.
All in favor? All in
Aye.
favor?
Who second?
Albert.
I don't think we have to be turning it on and off.
Leave it on.
Yes,
Leave it on, I can't read.
I'd make a recommendation, we follow staff recommendation of demolition.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
El comité decidió que la tumben. So, si no la tumban, la ciudad va a ir a tumbarla.
Es que no podemos tumbarla, no tenemos. Estoy enferma. Por eso, si no estuviera, a lo mejor sí, pero no. Primero mi salud que eso. Si la quieren quitar, prefiero eso a dejar de medicamentos. Prefiero que se queden con ellos. Ni modo. Más se ha perdido, ¿verdad? Los materiales, eso nada más. Pero veníamos a eso, pensé que como hay tantos programas que ayudan a la gente que nunca trabaja, le ayudan. Bueno, que la gente que trabajó toda la vida no le ayuda. No entiendo. Está muy bien, como quiera.
¿Y si se paga eso por mes, si acaso hay que pagarlo para atrás, hacer arreglos?
Mira, eso estaría bien. Eso sí estaría bien.
Thank you for giving her up.
Eso sí.
Moving on to item M, consideration of possible action on the property of Benavides Maria
Sí,
M.,
muchas gracias. Gracias.
whose legal description is the north half of Lot 2 and Lot 1 of 1418 Eastern Division subdivision commonly known as 2401 Chacon Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with the current adopted ordinance 2013-0025, Article 1, Sections 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Section 16.5521 to 2, 23A and B, 232 H, I, R, and U. Staff recommends demolition of this structure.
Motion to open up public hearing?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to speak for or against 2401 Chacon Street? Anybody wish to speak for or against 2401 Chacon Street? Anybody wish to speak for or against 2401 Chacon Street?
And move it close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Further wishes of the commission?
Have we photos?
Oh, yes, yes.
I saw him. Yeah.
I like the bell.
Like the car, classic.
So,
I make a motion to follow staff recommendation for demolition.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much.
I'll see.
Item N, consideration of possible action on the property of Gutierrez Rosa G, whose legal description is the west half of Lot 1, Block 689, Western Division, subdivision commonly known as 2515 Gonzalez Street. Staff declares this property as a nuisance in accordance with current adopted ordinance of 2013-0025, Article 1, Section 24-1.4 of Chapter 16, Sections 16.55 to 1, to 2, 238, 23B, 232HI, R, and U. Staff recommends demolition of this structure.
Make a motion for public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody do wish to speak for or against staff's recommendation of 2515 Gonzalez Street? Anybody that wish to speak for or against staff's recommendation of 2515 Gonzalez Street? Anybody that wish to speak for or against staff's recommendation of 2515 Gonzalez Street?
Make a motion, we close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a
What
motion
are
to
wishes
go with
of
make a motion to go with the staff recommendation for demolition.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, those are the items I just wanted to bring up. We're probably gonna be meeting on the third floor from now on, so I will be again, Mr. Orozco and Mr. Rodriguez will be basically now doing the inspections, and so, again, the policy of, I don't wanna elongate this meeting, I know it's already long, so, just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware, the next meeting is gonna be November 13th.
On a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday, 6 p.m. It's always the second Wednesday, right? So always the second Wednesday, we vote that on every January. So,
I think we're getting it like on Monday, right? Is that correct?
so, just let me check the date, make sure that we, yeah, it's a Wednesday, and it's the second Wednesday, it's the 13th, so it's almost
Yeah, because
mid.
it came out, mine came out October the 12th.
You still we're meeting up here from now on?
But, yeah,
Well, we wanna do it on the third floor, I think, it's because the first floor, I don't know if you remember, the cameras, they don't work as much, and
Yeah,
so
perfect.
it's easier here to do the camera and public hearing, so, camera that's recording, so. That's the reason, until they fix the one downstairs. You know, this one's better equipped. So, it's the second Wednesday of the month, so just wanted to point that out, unless you guys have anything else, and we don't have anything else.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign.
Meeting
adjourned.
Meeting is adjourned.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Take care.